Hey everybody, this is how you can download a package from Fab and get it into your library. So you have to open up the Unreal Launcher, and once the Unreal Launcher is open, then you click on the Fab tool or the Fab tab right up there. From the Fab tab, then you click on Start Exploring, and then when Start Exploring comes up, oh, it came up on my other screen. So over here it comes up. And just so you don't have to pay for anything, you can search for stuff. For instance, I want to search for free blockout materials, but I'm going to type in blockout materials and I'll press enter. And then it's got blockout materials, and there's one really cool one right here. It was free for a month about a year or two ago, but that one's $20, and I want you to use free ones. So if you come up here to the top and click on price and just click on the free checkbox right there, then there's a whole bunch of free stuff that comes out that's involved with blockout materials. And you can see here's one, creating a level blockout for game development. That's pretty cool. So you can click on that one. I probably will download that one, but there's another one also that I'd like for you to get as well. If I can see it here, give me just a moment to scroll down. And here it is, this starter pack prototype starter level right here. Again, it's free. And if you click on that, it'll show you what's in it. And you can see everything you see here, all these textures, the blue, the purple, the red, the yellow textures, the green textures, jump test areas, crouch test areas, things like that. So, but all these materials that are in here, they come with it as well. And so you can kind of cycle through the tabs here and it'll give you a good view of what's in there. So it's not just the stuff, but it's also the materials that you get as well. So anyway, so I would like for you to download this or add it to your library. I usually just add things to my library right here. And remember the name of it too. So here's a description of it, a complete Unreal Engine starter kit, and then it tells you what it's got in it. But anyway, so it's got materials in it and all of that as well. So number of materials, there it is, 45 materials right there, and a bunch of those are for blockouts. So anyway, um, this is called Prototype Starter Level, 4.8 stars, so it's pretty good with 72 ratings. So I'm just going to add it to my library. So I'm going to click Add to my library. And if you don't have a login, then you're going to have to get a login. I have one that I've logged in with my personal email account. And so I already have one. So I'm just going to say continue. And my password puts in automatically. So I will sign in. And you may have to register. If you do not have an Unreal account, you'll have to register. So yes, this is my latest account. So I'm going to say yes, continue. And oh, maybe later. I'll set up my two-factor authentication later. So, all right. So anyway, add to library. So I'm actually not sure if it just added it to my library or if I have to click it again. Let's look. So here's my library, and these are all the things that I own in here that I've downloaded in the past and have said, go get into my library. So I actually have a lot of stuff because every month they give you free stuff. And I've been downloading free stuff for years and years and years. But so this was a starter pack. So let's see if we can search my library. I'm just going to type in the word starter and see what comes up. So I don't see it in here. So I may have to go back and find it again. So let's go, I'm going to go back into Discover and I'll type in again uh, blockout materials. And then again, I'll go price and I want free ones. And then I'll scroll down until I see my starter pack that I want. There it is, starter pack. And then click it and then say add to my library. And product was added to your library. So once I clicked that previously, I wasn't logged in, so I had to log in. Now you can see my username is up there, Yo Free Time. That's me. And so I'm logged in. So now when I go to my library, the prototype starter level should be in there. So I'll go to my library, and there it is. It's right there at the top of my library. So that's pretty cool. The next thing, now how do I get this into Unreal? So the next thing is, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna open up, here's my launcher, going back to my launcher, and then I'm going to open up, I'm actually gonna launch, let's see if I have 5.6, Unreal Engine 5.6. So I'm going to open up Unreal 5.6, and I'll show you how to get it into my level so I can get started working. While that's doing that, I'm just going to pause the video and I'll be right back as soon as it opens. All right, so Unreal opened up, and here's my Unreal. So I'm going to go to Games, and just for the block out, you can choose any of these, but I think for something simple, what we'll do is a third person block out. And initially, when I get started, I would like to, my target platform is going to be desktop. It's not going to be mobile or a console or anything. Because it's a desktop, we can have maximum quality there. And if we later decide that maybe that's not working on our computer, we can scale it down or use something different. And I'm not going to worry about variants. So different variants, I'm just going to choose none because this is just an example. So, and then down here, project location, you have to determine where on your computer you want to save things and what you're going to name them. So I have a folder called UE5 that I'm going to use, and I'll give it a name. I'm just going to call it uh, first, first, oops, can't, you got to use underscores. First underscore blockout in my UE5 folder. So I'll create it. In fact, you know what? Let's call it blockout. Uh, well, what did they call it? Starter. They called it starter material, starter blockout. Let's call it. I like to have the blockout first. I'm going to call it blockout underscore starter. Is what I'm going to call it. Blockout underscore starter. Then I'll create it. And again, it's creating it in that UE5 folder under my J Drive migration. And so there's my starter pack, and it'll pop back up here in a moment when it's ready for it. So you can't see it; it's over here on my monitor, but I'll bring it over here so you can see. So it created, it's creating it right now. A level called, or not just a level, but a project called Blockout Starter. It tells me which version it's opening it in, which is 5.6, the most recent, and then it tells me what percentage that it's open for. So once the project opens up, it opens up to this third person level right here. Looks like it's got some green stuff around it, and so this is the level, but none of my things are in there yet. Okay, and look, you can even see some filters are already shown here. If you want to turn off your filters, you can just literally click and click, and it turns your filters off. And if you just want to filter for finding levels or finding blueprint classes or static meshes or whatever, you can click those again and find those things. But here I am in my blockout starter project. It came up with just this. This is a default level third person. Here's a default level, but I want to get my stuff in there. So this is what I'll do then. Is I'm going to load my project, my starter project into here. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to bring back up my Fab page over here, and you can see I'm in Fab. This time I'm in my library, and there's my starter pack. And so I'm going to click it, and I'm going to download it. So this time it was in my library, so I found it again. So this time I'm going to download it, and it says using the standard license. If you want to know what that is, you can click there. Formats using they're available in the Epic Games Launcher, the Fab UE5 plugin, and so it downloaded them. All right, to get it into my project here, I have to go back to Fab. So I've got Fab open here, and here's my, I have Fab in my launcher, so I launched it. But I'm going to go into my library, and I did have to, I did this off camera. I had to refresh my Fab library because the prototype starter level was not showing up. And so I had to hit this refresh button, and then it finally showed up here. And the reason there's only these showing up also is that I sorted starter. I'm searching for it. So if I didn't have that, you can see I've got like hundreds of projects here. And if I didn't remember that the name was prototype starter level, if all I remembered was starter, I'd be looking down here for it, going, "Where's my starter then?" So sometimes I just search for it. It can be a lot easier that way. But anyway, so I can type in the word starter or proto, and there it is, prototype starter level. Now, if you'll notice, some of these say add to project, and some of them say create project. And so the reason I created my project first is because I thought this one was going to say add to project, but it did not, of course. So um, so I may have to create a new project. So I type in, there it is. So let's see if it gives me the option. It does not. So I'm just going to create a project for it. So I will create a project, and it says, what is the name? Prototype starter level. Sure. And once again, I'm going to save it in my, it is not where I'm going to save it. So I'm going to make sure you know where you're saving it. I'm going to save mine um, in my UE5 folder. Boom, right there. Select folder. Cannot be root drive or volume. Really? Um, that's the first time I've seen that. Let me figure this out. So I couldn't use it because my path was over 100 characters. So I'm just backing it up to my J drive migration. You can actually save it on your local computer, which might be easiest for me to do that actually. But I want it on my OneDrive, so I'm just going to leave it here in my J drive migration, and I know where it is. So anyway, I'll create it. I can always move it later if I want to. So I'm going to create it. You can see here it is. It's got 547.5 megabytes of assets in it. If you're on a good if you're on a good connection, it goes by really quick, like it just did. And then it's installing it, verifying it, completing it, and as soon as it's ready, and there it is. And I got a message on my other screen over here. If I can, it won't come over there. I can't show you, but anyway, I'll just exit out of that. But you can see it looks like it's ready to go. So now I'm going to go back into my level over here, and it should show up under the content folder. So when I click on content, maybe it's this level prototyping folder right there. Let's see if that's it. That is not it. So it's not done. Apparently, it's not done yet doing its thing. So let's see. Well, it does look done there, doesn't it? Hold on. All right, so I was trying to open it. I was trying to open it. Remember my blockout starter? Well, remember we created a project instead of putting it in the project. Remember we created a project instead of adding to a project. So since I didn't add it to my project, I've got to go back and open up that project. So I can do that from here. So another good teachable moment. I'm just going to go to File, Open Project, click on that, and then it's going to say, hey, what project do you want to open? It's going to look for it in certain places here. And so I'm going to see if it can find projects. It was called the prototype on there, and it doesn't currently find it there. So if I need to go find it, I'm going to click on the browse button right here. So I'll click on, there's my blockout starter, but that's not the one that has the information in it. So I'll just click on browse, and then I'll go back to my J drive migration. And if it's alphabetical, there it is, prototype starter level. double click that, and there it is. There's the U project file that I need to open up. So I'm going to double click that, and that opens up now my new Unreal project with all of this stuff in it. Okay, so I X out of there, and I'm just waiting a moment for it to open up. There it is. You saw the thing pop up down here. So I'll bring it over so you all can see it. Maybe. Where'd it go? There it is. And so remember, it's got 547 megabyte worth of information in it now that it's got to open up. So it may take a moment to do that. So once again, I'll pause while we wait for this to open. And it's at 35%. Sometimes it can get stuck like 45%, or it'll get stuck on like, I don't know, 72% or 83%, and it'll just sit there and hang. So I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so Unreal finally opened up again on my other monitor. So here it is. So now let's take a look. So this is my prototype starter level. Here you can see, here's the default level called main level. It's got all of this information in it right here. And I can play around and test all this, but that's not really what I'm interested in right now. I just want to go ahead and start making a level and using these materials. So now that they're in here, my prototype starter level, I can go ahead and make a new level. So I'm just going to say File, New Level, and I like using this basic one because it's got a nice skybox. It's got a little bit of a floor in it. I'm going to hit the Create button, and it's got a little bit of a floor right here, and I like using it. And then I can start building. So, so anyway, so if I want to find my materials, again, I can filter, but I'm not looking for static meshes, levels, or blueprints. I'm looking for materials. So my filter button is actually right here. So when I click on that, it's going to allow me to filter for materials. So you can see it's right there. So I'm just going to check materials. It puts it in there. And now I can see all the materials that are in these folders right there. And it doesn't really separate them. When I'm filtering, it doesn't really separate them by folder. If I want that, then I have to click on a particular folder in order to separate it. So if I look in architecture, there's no materials there. Maps has no materials. Materials has all the materials in it. So anyway, but if I wanted to get, if there were materials in some of these, if I click on the content folder, usually that's the safest bet to grab everything under the filter, under those folders right there in order to filter it out. So, and then the quick, easy way to texture things is let's grab a blockout texture first. So I want to find my blockout materials because these are basic standard materials, and I want my blockout. There it is. You can see prototype material wall cube right there. So they have all the different colors in there. Why don't I have different colors in there? That's a different video. But let's go ahead. I'm going to drag my M prototype material wall. The M stands for material. There's three different ways that I know that this asset right here is a material. The three different ways that I know is the green bar right here means it's a material. It says material right down here. And when you create materials, it's good practice to put M underscore at the beginning of the name of your material so that you recognize it as a material. So three different ways. And then this one, it's actually got a fourth way, which is it actually put the word material in the name of the file. So four different ways for this one, but normally like three. So it'd be the green bar, that it's a material there, and you have M underscore, and that's how you would know. So it's just really easy. You just simply click, drag, and just drop, and then out that way. And if I have any new geometry as well that I want to put out there, so if I just had like actors, let's go up here and just really quick, if I go into, nope, not there. Let's go into here and go into, I don't know, like let's choose a cube right there, and if I want to, I'm going to press F to focus on the cube, And then if I want this cube to have this material, I can just click, drag, and drop it right on there, and now you can see. All right, that's how you do that. In order to, I can make material instances of these, but I'll do that in another video, which means I can use this. If I double click it, I'll show you real quick, it brings up the base material of this, and then I can go ahead and make color changes. I can copy this and make material instances from this and just change the colors. So, but that's another video. I just wanted to show you how to get those prototype starter level information into here. And if you want to change it, and you're like, nope, I don't like that. I want the ground to look like grass. You just click, drag, and drop it, and it'll change it to whatever you put it on. So. Sorry, that's how to get materials in there. You can change them around. But when you're doing a block out, I know these materials are really cool, but when you're doing a block out, you need to stick with prototyping materials like this gray box right here. That's for gray box, but we like to use colors here. So anyway, hope that was interesting to you. Like and subscribe.